The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Jess De Los Santos, and here are the biggest stories on the economic and corporate fronts. President Bongbong Marcos says some investment deals from his foreign trips have started to materialize. His remark came after he met with the Trade Department and the Office of the Presidential Assistant on Investment and Economic Affairs. Trade Secretary Fred Pascual said 116 projects worth around 3.5 trillion pesos were generated from Marcos Jr.'s trips.
I can already report that some of the MOUs that we signed in Indonesia and in Singapore, meron ng resulta. And in fact, I think in the next couple of weeks, we will be starting to inaugurate some of these projects already.
The president said they will now consolidate the deals and determine what needs to be done so the projects could move forward.
We're moving very quickly to, as I say, make sure that while the Philippines is still top of mind of these investors, that we immediately explore those opportunities and take advantage of the contacts that we made during the
Renewable energy firm Alternergy is aiming to hold an initial public offering of shares on March 24. Alternergy expects to raise up to 1.87 billion pesos from the maiden listing to fund ongoing and prospective projects. The IPO covers the sale of up to 1.15 billion common shares with an over-allotment option of up to 115 million shares. The shares will be sold at an offer price of up to 1 peso and 48 centavos apiece, with expected gross proceeds of up to 1.70 billion pesos. The offer period for the IPO is expected to run from March 13 to 17, subject to the approval of the PSC and Securities and Exchange Commission. PLDT is gearing up to expand the capacity of its largest operational data center by 12 megawatts. The expansion aims to power an additional 1,600 racks, or the framework that houses computing equipment. The company says the expansion should accommodate additional requirements of existing customers, as well as keep up with ever-increasing data center demands. The increased capacity is expected to be ready by March. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Jess De Los Santos. The Bangko Sentral signals another increase in its benchmark rate at its meeting next month. In an interview with Bloomberg TV, BSP Governor Felipe Medalla says interest rates may see hikes of 20 to 50 bips. This in a bid to contain broadening price pressures. Medalla says there is a, quote, big risk of inflation expectations being disanchored. The Bangko Sentral yesterday raised interest rates by half a point for a second straight meeting after inflation zoomed to 8.7% in January. The latest inflation print is higher than the 7.5 to 8.3% forecast range given by the BSP and the highest logged in 14 years. As inflation remains elevated and as interest rates continue to increase, HSBC Global Research forecasts consumption to slow down this year. HSBC says soaring prices remain a key concern in the Philippines and its ASEAN neighbors, and consumption in our country is seen to slow down the most. HSBC says the Philippines saw prices of goods and services rise faster than wages in 2022, which diminished purchasing power of its wages. It says this deterioration will, quote, likely take a toll on consumption this year as households find their way around to make ends meet off the back of the squeeze in household budgets. The Transportation Department confirms to House lawmakers that the government plans to stop the operations of the Philippine National Railways or PNR line. Undersecretary Cesar Chavez explained that the shutdown would give way for the construction of the South Commuter Railway project. He said PNR operations may be halted for 5 years beginning summer of this year.
Ihinto po ang operasyon ng PNR in due time at we will inform the public in due time sa operasyong ito sa loob ng taong ito at baka ho ngayong summer po.
Assured the public that they are addressing the inconvenience to be experienced by PNR commuters.
Nagagaling ang mga pasahero. Yung Alabang to Calamba, that's only about 2,000 sa isang araw. Ang biyahe po ng Alabang to Calamba is only umaga, hapon. Ang mas marami nating pasahero ay mula dito ho sa Makati going to Tutuban. Ito po ang ina-address natin.
In an interview with reporters, Chavez also said the DOTR is planning to privatize the operations of MRT3 and LRT Line 2 as one bundle. He added that a task force has been created to plan it out. Still on the rail sector, the opening of the Metro Manila subway may be pushed back to 2029 due to right-of-way issues. The Transportation Department says they have yet to settle for the relocation of informal settler families living along the route of the subway project, as well as transfer of utilities such as drainage pipes and telco posts. The partial opening of the Metro Manila subway was originally slated for 2025. President Bongbong Marcos in January led the launch of the tunnel boring machine for the project. For this reason, the Transportation Department called for legislation which would assure that majority of the right-of-way would be acquired before government begins procuring equipment and construction for such projects.
Baka magkaroon ng isang legislations or even initiative within the executive department na bago magkaroon ng procurement para sa mga contractor, at least 70% of the right-of-way is already acquired.
For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Join us again at 2 p.m. We are One News, all sides, all the time.